Good morning and welcome to my channel this morning. I will be treating the bounds text, or what we call the bounds cointegration text, as a follow-up to my previous class on ARDL model. So to start, the first thing we'll do is to load the data in eView worksheet. This is my eView portal. I will go to File. I'll maneuver to Import. From Import, I'll go to Import from File. I will identify Desktop for me to identify the data set I actually want to use for this study. I want to actually estimate population dynamics and oil spill in Nigeria for the period spanning 1990 to 2020. So to identify the oil spill and population dynamics variable, I'll move on to Excel sheet read 1 to 3. If I decide to click finish, I will also get the same thing. So the data set I actually loaded is from 1990 to 2021. So to estimate the ARDL framework, because the bounds text is inherent in the ARDL framework, for you to be able to actually get the bounds text using eView 9 and 10, you ought to have estimated the ARDL model. And the first condition to estimate the ARDL model is that your variables must be stationary after first differencing and level, but mainly the dependent variable must be stationary after first differencing. So the variable of interest today are fertility rates, mortality rates, net migration, as proxies for population dynamics, while OLX is proxy for oil spill. So for me to actually perform the ARDL text, I assumed that I have done the unit root text of this variable previously, because I know that fertility rate is I0, mortality rate is I1, net migration is I1, while the dependent variable oil spill is I1. So to proceed further, you go to Quick, you maneuver to estimate var, because you need to know the lag of the value, the lag of the model first. To get the appropriate lag, you go to estimate var. You estimate the variables according to how you wanted them to be. Recall that the oil spill is supposed to be logged. Oil spill is supposed to be logged, while others will remain in their natural form because they are ratios and rates, mm and nmr. Okay, without changing any other item here, you go to OK. Then this is the auto-regressive estimate, but this is not where you're going to. You maneuver to view again. You go to lag structure. You go to lag length criteria. You click on it. Allow the lag specification to be where it is. You leave it this way. This is the lag selection. The lag selection, as informed by the 5 information criterions, is that the appropriate lag for the study is 2. So if you can look at these results critically, you see that there are statistics in each of the information criterion. For instance, the Hannah-Quinn criterion, there is a statistics. The Swartz criterion, there is a statistics. The archaic information criterion, there is a statistics. The final prediction error, there is a statistics. The sequential modifier LR square, there is a statistics. And since our statistics are in all of the 5 information criterion, and if you trace them horizontally, they coincide with lag 2, then the lags for the appropriate lag for the study of population dynamics and oil spill in Nigeria will be lag 2. So let's proceed to ARDL portal, or ARDL estimation procedure back again. I go back to Quick. You maneuver to estimate equation. This time, no longer estimate var. You click here, and you now input your equation. This is my equation, the equation I used previously when I was actually identifying or trying to ascertain the lag value. So you now go to the method. Under the method, you click You click inside this box. You select the last. I'm using if use 9. You select the last. But if it is if use 10, it will be second to the last. You select the last. You now move on without changing any other thing. Remember that the appropriate lag is 2. And since the appropriate lag is 2, you change this lag of the dependent variable is 2. You also change the lag of the regressors to be 2. Without changing any other thing, if you hit OK, you are going to get what they call the static ARDL result. The static ARDL result is what you are seeing here. But this result is not. This is not where we are going to record that we want to estimate the bound text, which is the co-integrating text using the ARDL framework. So you go to view from this static result. You maneuver to view. You go to coefficient diagnostics. You maneuver to the bound text is at the bottom here. If you are using if you 9, but if you are using if you 10, the lag length, the short run and the long run tests are inherent in the co-integrating and long run form. Note again, if you are using if use 9, the bounce text will be here. But if you are using if use 10, the bounce text, the error correction model and the long run test appears in one result. But in this one, the bounce text is separated from the error correction and the long run text. So for that reason, I will move on to bounce text. If I hit bounce text, I will get something that looks like this. This is how the results will actually appear. So to offer appropriate interpretation, I will cut up this section of this result and present it in Microsoft Word, where I will offer appropriate interpretation to it. Please stay tuned as I proceed further to Microsoft Word for appropriate interpretation. So I proceed to Microsoft Word to actually offer appropriate interpretation. So this is the bounce text I just estimated this morning, and I want to actually explain to you how to decide if there is co-integration or not. What we have here, we have the test statistics, we have the F statistics, we have values K, number of independent variables, we have 3 independent variables, Then this is the value, the F statistics. This is the F statistics for the model. And we also have the lower bounds and the upper bounds. The lower bounds texts are variables that became stationary at level. The upper bounds text, variable that became stationary after first referencing. And the critical values are from 10%, 5%, 2.5%, and 1%. But in economics, we are mainly interested in what happened at 5%, because we assume that there is always 95% accuracy and provision for 5% error. So our confidence interval is intact within that framework. So basically, if this is the result we want to interpret this morning, we need to start from looking at the value of the F statistics and have it compare with the upper band and the lower band and the upper band critical value at 5%. And the rule of thumb is that whenever the F statistics, this F statistics is higher than the upper band text, whenever this F statistics is higher than the upper band text, we conclude that the null hypothesis will be rejected. And when the null hypothesis is rejected, the alternative hypothesis is accepted, which implies that there is a co-integrating relationship among the variables in the model, because the F statistics of 5.179155 is higher or greater than 4.35 critical value at 5%. Then whenever this F statistics is lower than the lower bound text, if this F statistics is very low or lesser than the lower bound text of 3.23, we now conclude that there is no co-integrating relationship in the model or among the series under consideration. Then thirdly, whenever this F statistics falls in between the lower bound and the upper bound, had it been that you have something that looks like 3.1, You now record that 3.1 falls in between 3.23 and 4.13. This means that the model is inconclusive or explosive, and when a model is inconclusive and explosive, is problematic. So if this F statistics, like the second one again, is in between, is lower than the lower bound and the upper bound text, it then means that there is no cointegration. Then what do we do when there is cointegration and when there is no cointegration? In the first instance, where we have F statistics that is greater than the upper bound text, and we ascertain that there will be convergence, or there will be cointegration, or there is cointegration in the model. Then what we now do is to proceed to estimate the long run text and ascertain the short run dynamics of the estimate by actually going to the ARDL cointegrating long run form to ascertain the short run and long run result, wherein the speed to which the disequilibrium will be adjusted is inherent. In this context, this is how the bounds text of cointegration or for cointegration is being estimated, and this is how it is being interpreted. So thank you for staying put to my channel, and I promise you that in subsequent lectures I'm going to expose other dynamics in macroeconometric study. Thank you and God bless you.